Can you please stop recording? Let's first have the members coming for today's webinar, and it being the last webinar for the year from Isaka Kampala chapter. Thank you very much. Can we have the opening prayer from Ms. Rita? Thank you. Rita, kindly give us the opening prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. Father God, we thank you and bless you for the gift of this day, for the gift of our lives, Lord. Lord, we ask you to come and bless us as we begin this webinar, and we ask you to open our minds so that you can be able to understand whatever is going to be taught, whatever is going to be shared, Lord. Lord, we ask you to come and be with us and nourish us in whatever we're going to learn. Lord Jesus, we thank you and bless you once again. In Jesus' mighty name, we've prayed with thanksgiving.
Amen. Thank you very much, Rita, for that wonderful prayer. It's always good to dedicate such sessions into the hands of the Lord. Members, we are so grateful to all our facilitators for dedicating their time towards the CPE for our members. Allow me to thank the members who have continuously sought knowledge by attending our monthly CPEs. Members, thank you very much. There are some people that I've always seen since they have begun till now, and they are still moving with us. Thank you very much for that trust that you've put in us to be part of our CPEs. Members, as a chapter, we are organizing ourselves better next year and promise to deliver better quality CPEs. Please also allow me to thank our speaker for the day, Ms. Samari Kachibale. Thank you for allowing to share. Thank you for allowing to close our CPE year on such a high note. I firmly say our speaker for the day inspired me into the IT audit profession, and she's always been my mentor and consultant in the profession. Samari, thank you very much, and you definitely testify that I always keep disturbing you here and there. How do I do this? How do I do that? And you've never at any one point gotten tired of me. Thank you very much, Samari, and we thank the Lord for you. Thank you for being able to share your knowledge. I'm very excited that we have her today to share her wealth of knowledge and experience in auditing network devices with NEPA. Members, still allow me to congratulate Samari for achieving her Master of Science in Cybersecurity. Samari Kongs, thank you very much for pursuing that course, and we believe you will use it for the benefit of the profession, and you'll keep sharing knowledge with us. Members, we have that as our program for the day, and I believe it is as simple as that. We shall not have much more than that. Right away, let's go into the profile of our moderator for the day. And our moderator is none than Miss Emmeline Palmu. Miss Emmeline is a dedicated, detailed, and result-oriented internal auditor with 7 years experience in governance, risk, and controls in the financial and energy sectors. She has a proven track record of enhancing operational efficiency, safeguarding assets, and ensuring adherence to the industry regulations. She is eager to develop professional connections and vital career skills, and is an enthusiastic team player committed to integrity and accountability. She is a certified information systems auditor, has a bachelor's in computer engineering, and is currently pursuing an MBA. Miss Emmeline is part of the Girl Child program known as G4G in Stanbic Bank, and focuses on career shaping for women in the bank. She is a mother of 2 handsome boys with a passion for cooking and traveling. Members on call, that's our moderator for the day. And allow me to finally hand over to our moderator to take us through the next session. Miss Emmeline, you're welcome, and please take us to the next. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And thanks, Tim. Apologies, I joined a little bit late. And congratulations to our dear speaker, Samali. I am so happy and excited to be on this webinar today and to be the moderator here. And I'm glad that the speaker in question is actually my mentor. I am so happy and proud of her. So just like Jonas has put it, our speaker for the day is going to just take us through the topic that is auditing, doing audit using the NIFA tool. And just to cross-check, Summary, are you in?
Yes, Emily, I'm right here.
Okay, so we are good to go. So you can just open and just tell us what exactly is NIFA and what do we mean when we say that we do auditing our network using the NIFA tool. Over to you, Samali.
Hello?
A moment,
Hello?
please.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, before Summary comes in, I would just like to take this opportunity to introduce her and read her profile to the listeners, to our delegates on call.
Oh, apologies.
Summary.
I thought that was already done.
Okay, sorry. Summary Kachivale majored in IT and has hardworking and consultant stints in various local and international banking services providers such as Bank of Africa, the FCU Bank, and Opportunity Bank, ending finally in the Bank of Uganda as a senior information systems auditor, where she has fitted neatly in the niche of cybersecurity. Summary has lent her time to ISACA Uganda Kampala chapter as a governance director, and she leads tech liaisons. She has spoken on various topics related to cybersecurity technology. She's speaking today on technology for gender equality, considering the power technology can play in mainstream equality along gender lines. Summary is the mother of two preteens, a girl and a boy. She spends most of her free time engaging in healthy physical activity and evangelizing. Wow. And she has just concluded her Master's of Science in Cybersecurity at eCouncil University, New Mexico, USA. Once again, congratulations, Summary. Summary, please take us away. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, thank you very much for that honorable introduction. I'm very humbled to be here, and I'm humbled to hear that Emmeline and John, your careers have taken off and you're blossoming where you are. It's very humbling, and I take pride in realizing and noticing that when you tell people something, when you advise somebody, when you give them just a small nudge in the right direction, they actually run with it and they can make good of it, which I think is why Kampala ISACA chapter is here. So when John approached me about this month's webinar and asked me what I would share or made proposals, he was open-minded and asked me to just pick anything of my choice. Based on what I have been practicing over the years, I do notice we have gathered a lot of knowledge on governance, on the theory of things. But most of us would really like to know more about how to practically add value to our organizations, how to practically help businesses and run our consultancies. So among many other things, I thought of a topic that could cut across the various disciplines in cybersecurity, and also not making it very technical, that can speak to everybody. So I found it very comfortable to share how I am able to give assurance to the different entities that I've engaged with on how secure their network perimeter devices are. Among very many other tools that we use, there's a tool called Niper, which is one of them. And I picked it because one, it's very simple to use, it is accessible, and therefore it would be a great value add to us. So that is what I'm going to be taking us through today. I hope I have all your attention. So we can go to the next slide, please. Next slide. Sorry, I don't have the slides because I would like to run an experiment on my Kali Linux, and I did not have a way to project the PowerPoint on the machine. So rather than switch in between the session, I asked the chapter to run for me the PowerPoint.
Yeah, Samara, I think they are working on something. It is going to run shortly.
All right. Just give them a minute. So as they are working on something, I did notice, over the time I've noticed that we have given so much attention to applications, business continuity, governance, and not much is given to our perimeter. I don't know whether it's because it is ancient, quote unquote, because switches have been there ever since, routers, firewalls. So we seem to be going with the new things that are coming up, Internet of Things, all that kind of thing. But at the core of information, of infrastructure, these devices provide a highly sensitive role in ensuring that our networks are running efficiently and in a very secure manner. So it's very important for us as assurance providers to make sure to give assurance that they're always available. They preserve the integrity of the network data and information, confidentiality, there's accountability for people's actions, and there's also continuity. So that is where we are coming from. So I'm waiting for the person in charge of the screen, or can I continue without?
No, I think the screen is up.
Okay.
Yeah, the screen is up.
So on my side, I'm still seeing the first slide.
Oh, because I can see we're on the second slide already.
Okay, if you're in the second slide, I'll proceed because I know it. So let's just proceed if you're there. So routers, switches, firewalls, basically they are stable, but infrequently examined from a security perspective, and are often poorly patched and provide deep network visibility. So this means that they are a perfect target for an adversary looking to be both who wants to be quiet and have access to important intelligence capability, and also have a foothold on the network. So I wanted us to have a look at what's happening in the tech world. So we observed that there's quite a number of things that are being observed by the cybersecurity bloggers. One, they're telling us there's a lot of traffic manipulation happening on these devices, traffic copying, people are hiding configurations, malware is being installed, reconnaissance, weakening of defenses. All this is being done on these devices. So unfortunately, I really can't see. But
okay,
in April.
Summary.
Yes.
Can I please request Brenda to first stop sharing, then she can reshare. Probably
Yes,
the
please.
problem may be sorted. Brenda, can you stop please share? Can you please stop sharing so that we can see? Try sharing again. move to the next slide. Probably, Brenda, what you can do, leave the slideshow, just move with the, just keep clicking the different slides. I think that will take us faster. Yeah, you can close that if it's giving you problems. Okay. Summary, can you see the screen now?
I still can't see it on my end, but I do know if you're on the second slide, I know what it is talking about.
Okay, we're on the second slide already. Thank you.
Unless our audience, are you able to see the slides?
So I see someone is saying they're not able to see the slides, William, on their end. I don't know.
And
Yeah,
some people are saying it's
thumbs
okay.
up, so. He says he can see now.
Okay, okay, let's proceed.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's an issue to do with the Kali machine, but so earlier on this year, around April, there was an attack that was launched by a group called APT28. So they used known exploits on routers to carry out reconnaissance and deploy malware. This was a Russian firm, and they were targeting UK and the US. What they did, they used the malware called Jaguar Tooth. It's a Cisco iOS malware that collects device information and enables backdoor access. Jaguar Tooth is non-persistent malware that targets Cisco iOS routers. It collects device information and exfiltrates it over that protocol for file transfer. It also enables unauthenticated backdoor access, and it is deployed and executed via exploitation of the protocol that we all interact with every now and then, the Simple Network Management Protocol. We also noted in the news that Cisco Talos Intelligence Group warns that the UK, same thing that I'm talking about, they are seeing increasing exploits against perimeter-based networking equipment. We also have news coming in about zero-day bugs that allow router hijacking, and this is being actively exploited. So Cisco went ahead to note a number of specific growing threats, which included the creation of generic router encapsulation tunnels and hijacking of DNS traffic. This gives you, the attacker, the ability to observe and control your DNS resolution. We're also seeing threats surrounding modifying memory to reintroduce vulnerabilities that had even been patched, so you can imagine. We're also seeing modification of configurations to move a compromised device into a state that lets the actor execute additional exploits. Installation of malicious software into the infrastructure device that provides additional capabilities to the actor. Also, actors are able to mask certain configurations so that they can't be shown by normal commands. So let's move to the next slide, please. So when we talk of network devices, I think most of us know them. We are looking at our routers, we are looking at our switches, we are looking at our firewalls. Most of these are configured with protocols and service. You definitely must have protocols, which are rules that tell your device how to behave and what to do. And services, some of them are insecure. There are always insecure versions of all services and protocols. So why we check is to make sure that we are running the most secure versions, and not only secure, but necessary. You don't have to have things there that you don't need, because monitoring them becomes very difficult. Access control lists, this is another area. If not properly configured, account management, very many times I have seen anonymous accounts, default accounts that are left in there. I don't know whether because the IT team is busy, or when the vendor deploys the device, they are done, they never look back at, they never go back to look at it. Then there's the issue of logging. Oftentimes you find they have enabled logging on one part and they have left out another portion. So in the event that you need to do any investigation of sorts, you'll find you have logs that are not coherent, that are not giving you the full story of what happened. And also in a discussion for another day, of course, logs, there are too many. So also logging and then you're not monitoring your logs is very counterproductive. It befits the purpose of why you started logging in the first place. Also, on these devices, you set your traffic rules. Then there's the issue of passwords and encryption. That SNMP that was used by that hacking group, usually when the community string is left weak, it can, if you use a weak community string, it can be hacked, it can be decrypted, and that's what they used. Then, of course, the issue of default settings. So there are quite a number of reasons why we should be interested in our perimeter devices. So getting straight into the juice of the matter. So what is NIPA? NIPA is a network infrastructure parser. I am interested today in sharing about the free version, the one that is run in the Kali Linux environment. So it's a command line tool, open source network, it's an open source network devices security auditing tool. It can help us to make observations about security configurations of many different types of devices, such as the routers, the firewalls, the switches on your network. So if you have Kali Linux on your machine, or you can write this down and try them out in your free time. But as a cybersecurity enthusiast, it's important to have Kali because it helps you to do quite a number of things. The beautiful thing about NIPA, sometime back it was restricted to Cisco, but it has since been opened up to also review other kinds of devices, not only Cisco. So that's the beautiful thing about it. So one, you must have it installed on your computer, whatever it is you're going to use. To install it is very simple. You just first of all, your Kali has to be updated. That's number one. After updating it, you can install it. That's the command. You should be a root user, and then you install the NIPA. And then after that, that's when you'll be able to run it. So to run NIPA, you first of all have to have the NIPA running, which you use the NIPA command. It starts, after it has started, you will point NIPA. First of all, you need to have the file that you are going to review on your machine. So if you are in frontline cybersecurity, you can do it yourself. Go to your router, go to your switch, go to your firewall, get the file, the configuration file, and save it. If you're in the other side of assurance, ask your IT team to share with you these files. So you will point NIPA to the file where your file is, and also point it to where it will give you the output after it has finished analyzing. HTML is the best. HTML is the best output format because the data is easy to read. It's easy for you to read and interpret. So I would like us to run through just before that, what would we get from the report? So when you get that NIPA report, you'll see it provides information about the software versions of your devices, vulnerabilities, reference numbers for those vulnerabilities, recommendations, which services to disable. But it also goes ahead, the beauty about it, it also goes ahead and tells you how to close that vulnerability. If there's a command that you need, it will tell you how to run that command. Okay, I would like us to quickly run through an example. And this is where I will take over. So you can
So we
end
stop
it.
sharing.
Yeah,
Okay.
stop here. Mhm.
Okay, Brenda.
Okay.
I'm
Could you-
still viewing Brenda's screen on my side.
Brenda, kindly stop sharing your screen. Brenda?
Okay, what you, Samuel?
Okay, thank you. All right. Could you please enable my screen sharing? It's disabled on my side.
Right now.
Let's see. Let us see. Okay, I think we're now good to go.
Yeah, I have enabled you, Samari.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Just hold on a minute. Let me. Okay. Back to my Zoom. Okay. Okay. All right. So is my screen visible? I hope so. So
Yes, it
Yes, it
is.
is.
I am going to use, we have quite a number of resources that we can use. I'm going to use some configuration files that are available online if you want to learn. And you can find them on, just hold on a minute. Which website is this? You can find them. Let me get there. Let me type it in here. Okay. Just hold. What's happening? Okay, it is NetKiller. So you can keep it for your use. So you can keep this for your use. I can paste it for you in the chat for you to go back and practice. I don't see the chat. Okay. Well, I don't see where the chat is. But yeah, these are some of the, there are so many examples of configurations that you can use here to practice before you can use your company data, but it's so easy. Even if you use your company data, it's fine. So basically, you just copy one of them. You can copy one of them. Let's copy this one. And you can paste it in your text editor. And then you save it somewhere. Let me see where to save this. So you can save it somewhere. We can call it test 3. And yeah, we'll use one of those ones. So I am going to start my session here. You don't need to be a root user, so I'll just run my command. I'll just start my Niper, so it should start, and there it is, it has started. After this, I'm going to instruct Niper where to pick the file and where to put it after it is done with what it is done with. So Niper input, well, I guess I'd already done something like this before, but yeah, let's just do it together. So I'm going to use a file name called test.1, which I have picked from because I do want to share with you my company information. So I had to find something that is available. So I will tell NIPA where to save this for me. So I'll say, maybe I'll save it as test.1 .html. And then I will enter. Just hold on. So let me first see if my files are on this. Oh, so I had done the wrong file name. Is it? Input. Okay. So when it is successfully runs, it shouldn't give you anything else. Just bring for you the terminal. So now I'm going to go to my folder and look for this file so that we can look at it. Let me check the files that are in this folder. So we can see that our result is here. Because I told NIPA to send my output to this file called test2.html. So let me go to this folder and look for this file. Okay. So it comes as an HTML file. Are we all seeing my screen? Is it visible? So this is how your report will look. So it is such a detailed, it's very simple, but very powerful tool. It will bring you a detailed report of how your device is looking like. It will tell you about your version, your passwords, your protocols and services, logging, to even give you device configuration details. So for the sake of this webinar, we are just going to go through this briefly, and then we'll take questions after this. So let's just look at what this report will give you. If you want, you can share it with the organization as is, or otherwise you can tailor it to a language that is understood and to also what you understand by depending on how your organization works. But basically, it will give a security audit of your device. So this example that we used, it is telling you the software version. First of all, it says it is critically important that you maintain patches in order to mitigate vulnerabilities. So NIPA determined that the router switch was running an outdated software of the iOS. That's the iOS version it told you about. And that it even goes ahead to show you the vulnerabilities that are in that iOS. So you can go ahead if you want to dive deep, since you have these CVE numbers, you can go ahead if you'd like to exploit them. You can go ahead in your Kali and run your Metasploit and try to exploit them. But otherwise, this is a very good starting point as an assurance provider or as person in operations for you to go and close some of these issues. So it gives you some of the vulnerabilities that come with this. You see here HTTP, denial of service, there's a buffer overflow, you even have telnet that can lead to remote denial of service. So it will give you the impact and how easy it is to exploit that vulnerability. So it's telling you exploit code is widely available on the internet. So all these ones, these CVE reference numbers, they're trying to tell you that these exploits are widely available, they are known. Let's look at the second observation. It's telling you that there are 3 passwords that did not meet minimum password complexity requirements, depending on what your organization is doing, but it will go ahead and let you know the username. For example, here it has picked these usernames and the password that is there. I wouldn't want to share what I have encountered in the real life, but some of these passwords actually look strong, but still it will manage to crack them, meaning that we need to improve on our encryption, the type of encryption method that we are using. Of course, if a password can be cracked, then there is password brute forcing and guessing is very easy. There's a lot that can happen with that. It's going ahead to tell you that your inbound TCP connection keep alive settings are not sent. And it tells you what the impact, denial of service. And what I was telling you, it goes ahead to tell you how to stop it. The commands to run. It tells about connection timeout, IP source routing. It will tell you run this command, no IP source routing on your router to change that. I have met very many places where telnet, NIPA tells that telnet is configured, but when you run through the configuration file of the device, you don't see telnet there. You probably see enable SSH and you do not see telnet. What this means is that you must first disable all forms of remote management and then you enable which one you want to use. If you just say input SSH without first telling the router to first disregard everything, then by default, telnet stays there enabled in the background. So it's very important that you go back and run this before you use SSH. We run through logging. It will also tell you that what is happening in your logging. It is telling that logging has not been configured on this switch. Your proxy ARP, you know what that is. It tells you how to do it. So it gives you a number of service password encryption. It's not running the password encryption service. Login banners, we all know what those are. So, and it also brings you a conclusion, how you can summarize your issues and present them to the people in charge. Clear text remote administration was enabled using telnet. CDP was not enabled. No login banner. So the third chapter of the report tells you about your device configuration. It will tell you the host name, the version, password service encryption. Here it's disabled. So all these are here, some of the issues, they are just here for you. You don't have to go through all that long code of your router, your switch, your firewall. Services, it will summarize for you the services that are running on your device. Telnet, SSH, HTTP, whichever services that you have. Domain name settings, it will let you know the time zone, user accounts, it will tell you passwords, encryption, none. This one is using MD5, which is very weak. HTTP, it is here, it's enabled on this example. So even it will give you the lines where, so that you can just go to the source code and point it out for the team. So it will tell you the line that is on, telnet is here, SSH, the passwords, encryption, where you can find them. It also goes ahead to name for you your interfaces and how they have been set up so that you can do the needful. And then it will give you appendices, the ports that are there, logging. So this is one example. Maybe we can try the second one. Let's see the second one. We have done test, but now let's see test 3. Let's see if test 3 runs. I don't know why test 3 is refusing. Let's see what is the issue with it. Now it's a capital letter. So Kali is case sensitive. You can spend the whole night looking for what you are doing. Again, it has refused. So I didn't save the extension as a txt. Let's pick another one here and see. Let's go back to our file. Let's pick this router and switch. Save it. You can use the same. Let me give it an extension. Let us try this and see. Let me see if this file is still there. Maybe it's pointing to do different. Okay. Okay, I don't know why this file is not responding, but we have got the gist of the matter, haven't we? Test.test3. Anyway, so, but we have understood how it runs and how it works. So I would like us to open our discussion to questions if you have any. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Samali. Maybe you would just elaborate. There are other networking tools available. So what makes NIPA very outstanding?
So as I mentioned earlier, number one, it is free. It's free, it's open source, yes, and it allows you to review different vendor configuration files for different vendors. It does not look you into a particular vendor. Number two, I find it very, very easy to use. So for example, if you're running it through a scanning tool, you may need to know how to set up your policy, how to run the policy. You may need to have your administrator come in to put in their credentials, which they may not want to do. So I find this very easy. IT will just give me the file and I will run my file. And from there, I'll know how to proceed. And also it gives you the details of your vulnerabilities, how easy they are to be exploited. It also gives you the CVE numbers, so you can go and look up these CVE numbers. That is the starting point for even a penetration test. So you'll use this information to go ahead and escalate your tests. So those are some of the reasons why it's one of the tools that I use, and those are some of the reasons I decided to share about it today.
Okay, thank you. I think someone had said we share something in the chat, though they were not clear. Jennifer, I don't know if you're on call and you could clarify what you wanted us to share on chat. But also in terms...
I think the question is, does NIPA run in Windows? That's Jennifer's question.
Okay, yeah.
I think Jennifer joined us later. So at the beginning, I mentioned that this is a tool that is run on the Kali Linux environment. So it's not run on Windows. However, there is a premium version that you can run on Windows. So it's managed by Tatiana, something like that. So there is a version that is run on Windows, but it is for paying.
Oh, so it's not free.
Usually it's for firewalls. It's usually for firewalls.
Okay, then they're asking us to share the link. Brian is asking us to share the link.
For the sample, the dummy configurations.
Okay, I think William has shared, I think the Kali
Where
link.
is I don't see where they are pasting their questions. I would paste it there. I can't see where to paste that.
You go to the chat.
Chat.
I don't seem to have access to the chat. I don't have access to the chat here.
Maybe stop sharing. I don't know.
Okay, I can stop sharing. I guess we are done here. So
Yeah, so it says, can we use that tool on a Windows machine with a Linux virtual machine?
yes. Yes, you can. So all you need is Kali. So whether you're running your Kali as your primary operating system or on the virtual environment, it doesn't matter. All you need is the Kali environment.
Okay.
Hey, Brian Mwine is here, is asking, in the likelihood of an engagement with a client company, what impact would NEPA have on a bulk reconnaissance and data collection of all network devices? And he says, how have there been cases of device failures after using NEPA?
No, because you are using a file that has been extracted for you. You're not running it on the router directly. You're not running it on the switch or on the firewall. You have been given, you have extracted your configuration file and it has been given to you and you're running it locally on your machine. So no, it would not introduce any form of malware or backdoors or anything of the sorts on your device. So it's completely independent of the device in question.
Mm. Okay, David says it's a great tool, but they would like to find out if it can be if it has been tested on configuring files like for Juniper devices.
I'm not sure about that. The best thing to do, since we have access to this, is get a configuration and run it through. Personally, not yet. Personally, not yet. But I think it should. It should. Because it's not locked into a particular vendor. Okay.
Summary, there is another anonymous attendee asking a question. I understand Linux is open source. Does using it leave one open to external attacks, provide there are loopholes one can navigate to access your machine?
I have not seen encounters where Kali Linux has been put on the spotlight as a tool for leakage of information or anything of that sort, because it's running locally on your machine. And most of these tools are downloaded on your Kali Linux box. It's not that it's on the cloud somewhere and you're sending information across. So for me, it would be a question of how secure your machine is, on how hardened your machine is at an individual level. that would be the question that that would be the area I would focus on. Yeah.
Okay.
That.
Okay. Another question. They appreciate that NIPA is a valuable security tool, ease of use, efficient at scanning. However, some users have expressed concerns around the security standards that it uses during audits. I don't know if you have any comments
I
towards
beg your
this.
pardon? I beg your pardon?
So the concern is that some users have expressed doubts around the specific security standards it uses.
What does it mean by standards? So the thing about the report is that, one, it's an open report. So if the tool has said that you have Telnet enabled, the good thing, you have your configuration file, or you can go to your router and run through the code line per line and go to where it is. If it says the password is weak, if it says the community string that you're using is open, you go to the device, run through the file, the commands line by line, and verify if you have some doubts about it. But personally, I've not experienced that. But the good thing is not that you also must have knowledge on the technicalities of these things. So if it tells you that this protocol is not secure because of this and this, you can run through the command line yourself. Go to that line, look at what they are telling you, and make a judgment call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a question. I don't think if it's related specifically to this from James. He has challenges. He's saying, what would your advice be? I don't know if you're able to advise him where an organization, the organization is still reluctant to permit IT auditors to use these systems, to deploy these tools, like even NIPA or Kali Linux on the bank's infrastructure. Like the organization is not comfortable. I don't know if you're able to respond to this. How would you advise the auditors on here to go about this?
So I think this is an executive conversation that needs to go
Exactly.
on. Yes, so there is a lack of trust that I have seen between the IT team and probably the quality assurance providers, that you're competent enough to run these tools in a secure manner on the network. Of course, for obvious reasons, everyone is trying to cover their tracks. So you can take baby steps. We can have a safe place where you can run these tools, where they are not directly interfacing with the primary network. For example, tools that allow you to carry files, you assess them and you give them feedback. As you grow confidence in the team, there's no clear cut on this. It's something that I have also observed, but it will take time. But eventually, management needs to be open-minded, because the only way you can assess your security posture is by testing yourself on the tools that the attackers use themselves. That's the only way you can assess your security posture. So James, we are in this together, but it's a process. There.
Yeah, for the organization to appreciate.
Yes.
I agree, it's an executive discussion. Organizations are usually laid back to have any external systems embedded into their infrastructure. Probably it could be a knowledge gap or something like that, but it's a discussion that we can have at an executive level. And ISACA is here to help us elevate such discussions. Okay, and I believe that teams have taken that away. And someone says we used the lower version to demonstrate how NIPA works. Is there any reason why we didn't use the latest version?
So Vito, there is no particular reason. I guess it's when I was preparing for this presentation, I just redid everything. So it's maybe we can run together an advanced version. So there's no particular reason. I just did give it the detail.
Okay, then does it have an option of providing details of vulnerabilities? I think yes. I
Yes,
think we
it
saw
does.
that
Every
detail.
vulnerability
Yeah.
has there's a
So
link
that
tab
detail,
to
Diana.
the CVEs. Diana, there's a link. So you can link on the CVE and it takes you to more details of that. Or you can just search for the CVE numbers. So it's quite detailed.
Okay, I see a hand up, John.
Yes, thank you very much, Summary. There was a question from David Gamua. I think we skipped it, where he said, I would like to find out whether you have tested the configuration files like the Juniper devices.
I think I answered it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Thank you.
Okay, it was responded to. I don't know, John and Rita, will you be able to share the recording with the teams? Someone asked about the recording. For them, I think to just go back and have a recap of what the session was of how the session went. Okay, at this point for me, I don't see any other question.
Just
I
hold
don't
on. The recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so please follow us. You'll be able to receive these recordings. Then there is another question about privacy. It says, is the tool safe in such a way that no information is generated and gathered about any activities and files with the tool?
Wow, that's a huge one. So I will not speak for NIPA and what it does, but again, I give a call to one. I mentioned that it is running locally on your machine. That's number one. So it's not that it's a certain cloud-based system that you'll go in some server somewhere in the cloud and uploading your configuration files there. It is on your local machine. That's number one. So then another thing is to make sure that your machine itself, you as the user of your machine, it is hardened enough. So those are the two countermeasures I recommend.
Okay, there is another question from Albert. He says that he equally uses Parrot Security OS and it's much okay with him. But how comfortable is NIPA with Parrot OS?
It's open source, so it should be able to run on Parrot. Try it and see. It's okay. It should be able to run on Parrot.
Okay, Diana asked another question.
Tools that run in Kali really also run on Parrot, so it's fine to work.
Okay, thank you. Diana asked a question that does NIPA have an option of providing more details of the vulnerabilities shared in the report?
Oh, I think I had answered Diana. Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Gerard says NIPA is static. Okay. Rita, I don't know if you still have questions on your end.
I'm scanning through if there is any I've missed out.
Okay.
Someone
How
is
much is
asking how
NIPA's
much is
license?
This is a free version. We have run a Kali version that is free. For the one that is paid, I saw somebody share a link here from Tatiana. Just reach out to them and they'll be able to tell you how much is involved in it. I've requested it. I don't know. There's yeah, there's a paid version that is very helpful, especially for firewalls. So it's by Titania.
Okay, There is another question that has just come in, says, does NIPA integrate with other security tools commonly used in the industry? If yes, what types of network devices and vendors is NIPA compatible with? Thank you.
It's open source, and it used to be restricted to Cisco some years back, but they have since opened it up to different vendors. So it's no longer restricted to Cisco only. So whatever router, switch, firewall that you're using, NIPA should be able to handle it. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, Summary. It has been very beneficial. I believe that if we have any other questions that probably you haven't posted here, you can reach out to Summary and just in that regard, but also you can take the time to go to the Titanic site and read more about it and understand how the tool works. It has been a great presentation. Thank you very much. I believe we've picked so much, and we're going to have this implemented in our day-to-day work, and it's going to improve on our TAT in terms of how we do our audits around networks. So thank you so much. I believe we've come to the end of the session. I hand over to John. Please, John, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. I was still enjoying the discussion. That's why I was a bit silent. I was still enjoying the discussion. Emmeline, thank you very much, and Rita for taking us through this session, for moderating. It's been well done. I can't say much about Summary. I think sometimes I'm lost of words because of the experience that she has working with these tools. Actually, the time when I picked interest in this profession is when she, there was an audit she was doing, and she made it seem so simple. Even the findings, you'd look at the findings and it's just a one-line finding, and it is straight to the point. Trust me, it is at that moment that I picked the interest and said, oh, so this is how things can be done. So Summary, thank you very much for inspiring. I know there are many out there that you've inspired into the profession. And please, anytime that we call upon you to share your knowledge and experience, please respond to our call, because we need people like you that can really help others grow in the profession. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, members, for joining the call. Thank you that we're coming to the end of the year. This is our last CPE event for the year. Thank you for all those that have been with us since we started in January till today. It's been a very long journey, but all the same, I believe we've learned a lot, we've shared a lot, and I believe next year we are coming back bigger and better as Isaka Kampala chapter in terms of CPE events. So watch the space. Starting January next year, 2024, we are beginning our events, and I believe for the rest of the year we shall be having them consistently throughout the months. Members, allow me to please go to our announcements. We have one announcement that is about membership renewal for 2024. The deadline for renewal is 31st December 2023. I wouldn't want you to get fined. Last year I got fined, please. So I wouldn't want you to get fined. Make sure that you renew your membership and subscription so that you continue enjoying the benefits of membership, including access to valuable resources, professional development opportunities, and network events. Please renew your membership today. Thank you very much. Next, please allow me to hand over to our chapter board secretary to give us remarks before we can have somebody give us the parting shots. Thank you very much. Rita?
Hey, thank you very much, John, for such a wonderful coordination and moderation. I don't know what we could have done without you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Emmeline, for moderating this session. Has Samar already given us the parting thoughts, or we go ahead?
Oh, I
We
think
could first get the parting thoughts from her.
Let's first get the parting shots, then
Please. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I didn't know I had parting shots to make. But so, well. Thank you everybody for turning up in large numbers. I can only pray and hope that this has been impactful. Like John has said, my interest has always been making the profession as simple as possible. I find it more impactful when I'm able to communicate something to people and they understand it. They understand what I'm saying, and then they're able to resolve it. So that next time, we have moved on to something else. So that is why, John, I keep my language quite simple, not complicated, and to make people pick interest, and you're not talking to the board and they're all bored, they're not understanding what you're saying. So for you to be able to create impact as we go out, I think I should make that my parting shot actually. So as we go out, dear professionals, dear professionals, try and keep your language as understandable as possible. Make it simple for people to understand. And the people, the teams that are in operations, update, patch, always run through your configuration. Make sure you don't have in there default, the things that settings that came with your devices. Routinely check what's going on, empower your teams to grow and learn how to do these things themselves, such that after the vendor has given you the system and taken you through for those few days, find a way to be more familiar with what's going with using administering the equipment. And finally, keep yourself updated, get to know what's happening around the cybersecurity space. Once again, thank you everybody for being a part of this. And yeah, I'll be here for more questions in the sidebar. Thank you. The chapter for allowing us to share what we have learned so far. Thank you.
Well, that's very good. Thank you very much, Samari. I can say Samari worked together on the past board as when she was an IT governance director. And I don't regret, because I indeed learned a lot from her. When I came on board, she was a senior director already. So she onboarded me, and she has an open heart, and she's helpful. Just like you just had her share this, she was open when she was approached. Really, Samari, I can't thank you much. Thank you very much for this awesome and wonderful and insightful presentation. And keep it up. You're part of us. We are part of you. Thank you for the love you have for the chapter and always being there and dependable in case we need you. Thank you very much. And for the rest of the team on call, we want to thank you very much for joining us and for this insightful presentation. We appreciate your active participation and thoughtful questions and discussion. It has indeed been a good discussion. I was still enjoying, just like John said. And as we conclude, I believe let's reflect on the importance of the robust network securities and the role tools like NIPAC play in identifying vulnerabilities. And of course, remember the knowledge gained today is a powerful tool in enhancing your organization's cybersecurity posture. Let's stay curious, stay informed, and continue to explore the best practices in network and in network auditing. And if you have further questions, just like Samari says, please feel free to reach out to her privately or individually. She'll be able to give you more. I believe she still has more, and she has just shared a dot of what she has. And my key takeaway in what she has said is that NIPA is NIPA's role in providing a comprehensive, automated, and strategic approach to auditing networks devices, ultimately contributing to a more secure and resilient network infrastructure. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate some of the board members on call. Thank you for joining us. And the committee members, we have Kenneth Palliam from South Africa chapter. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the collaboration. She has always been with us. Almost we are with Kenneth on every webinar every month. Thank you very much. We have Lloyd Sentongo on the education committee. We have Bernard Arenaitwe, who is the marketing and communications committee member. We have Diana. We have James Kakembo, Brian Mugisha, we have Emmanuel Mugabe and Brian Mwines. Thank you for joining us, being part of this, and thank you for what you do on your respective committees. We appreciate you. We have Josephine Alok, who is always our advisor on the board. Thank you very much for joining us, Josephine. We have always had Josephine join us on each and every webinar. I believe I've seen Josephine join us from January to December. Thank you, all of us. Thank you, Emmeline, for moderating this session. We appreciate your work. We can't just mention it like that, take it light like that. We shall be closing our chapter to the public, to the membership, tentatively on the 20th. On the 22nd of December and opening on 8th January. So in case of any changes, we shall let you know, but the Secretariat shall be able to send in the communications in case of anything. Once again, thank you very much. John, I can't say much. John, all of you have seen, all the members have seen the role John has played on as far as the CPEs are concerned. John, thank you very much. We appreciate you as the chapter. We are proud of you. Thank you for all that you've done to make the CPT move and be pushed to the level where we are right now. I believe now we are consistent and there is the trend. They know that every month there is a webinar coming in. And of course, not just a webinar. There are always insightful topics and knowledgeable presenters. Thank you very much, John. And everyone, I wish to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye, team. Have a good night.
Thank you, members.
Bye-bye. God bless you all. Bye.
Bye.